So this is going to simulate a turn that way, right? Well, for me, because you lean the bike this way.
Turn and do it.
Okay.
So it'll be easier to.
Okay, sure. You can do that. And then what you do is I want you to start leaning the bike over while pushing as hard as you can until it slips.
Point made.
Yeah. Would any of you ever lean the bike over this far? But you can, can't you? So, except for the fact that you can't lean near as far on stuff like this.
Is that why pros go 60 and we
See, I was over here before. How do we get downhill? And why do we want to lean the bike? Because that's the way it turns, really. And so if we're coming into a turn, and I know we have some skiers here. The skiers tell me, which way do you face if you're going downhill? Downhill. So if you are making a left-hand turn, which way do you turn your body? Turn it to the right. So you're facing downhill. And you want to do that on your bike too. And the way you do that, and this is different from what you'll see on what the pros do, but this is what Davis Finney used, who wasn't a really good climber, but that's how he managed to finish the Tour de France. Because he would go over the top, not with the peloton, but with the laughing group. And then he'd make the time limit on the mountainous climbs by descending like an eagle. And the way he did it was descending faster than anybody else in the peloton could do.
All right.
And this is...
Good work.
Yeah, baby.
So the technique that he used was a little bit different from what you'll see on TV. What people do, what you see the pros do, is when they go into a turn, if they're going to be going that way, they stick their knee out into the turn. No. What Davis says is what you want to do to initiate the turn is push down on this handlebar to start leaning the bike over. Keep your head over the axle. So you don't lean as much as the bike does. And we know already that you can lean that thing a long ways and it's not going to slip. So you've got to have the confidence it's not going to slip. So, and it won't feel like you are either. If your head's like this and you go, okay, that's good. It'll give you a little more confidence. So you initiate it by just pushing down or pulling up on this. And what you do with your hips is you rotate them against the seat. Okay, so you're turning downhill, right? And you bring your knee, or the lower part of your leg, wherever you're, with these slope top tubes, you're not going to hit it very high. So you're going to, but you're going to bring your leg against the top tube. This will stabilize the bike a little bit. Because some people, one of them in particular on this ride, has a bike that's so big that it starts to shimmy on her. And one of the ways you can take the shimmy out of it is to stabilize the frame in another place, and you do that here. When you're in a turn, you can just do it on one side. If you're going straight and your bike starts to do this, first you want to relax, and the second thing you want to do is slam both legs against this top tube, clamp it as hard as you can, and if it's still out of control, then you got to hit the brakes and slow down. But normally if you do that, it'll stop. So, okay, so that's how we initiate the turn, that's how we lean into it. You got your, by the way, you're going to be in the drops, right? Okay, and you're going to be sitting back on the saddle, so you distribute your weight across the bike. Because as you're going downhill, they have a tendency to throw more weight to the front anyway. You don't want to do that. So you'll be in the drops with your elbows bent, you're going to be relaxed, and you're not going to be on the brakes except between turns. During the turn you want to be free of the brakes. You can keep your fingers there, just touching it. But you don't want to use the brakes in the turn. You want to use, as you go into a turn, scope it out, say, okay, I can go through this turn at this fast. Woo! Take all the speed off before you get there.
The second time.
And then try and go through the turn with no brakes at all. Okay? And if you need to you know, if you get halfway into the turn and you're starting to go to the outside, just push harder on that inside. Lean the bike more, okay? And you'll get through it. The worst thing you can do is panic and hit the brakes hard, because as soon as you do, it'll straighten the bike up and you'll go straight across the road into whatever's out there. I did that once. And,
What did you just say?
when you hit the brakes in the middle of a turn, if you hit them hard enough, it'll straighten the bike right up and you'll go straight across the road.
Got it. Yeah.
And you're better off, if you're going to lose it, you're better off, much better off laying it down than you are going straight over the cliff or into something, a guardrail.
So when do you brake?
Pardon?
Before the turn.
Brake before the turn, take your speed off, so you're down in your comfort zone.
And then do the
And you know, as you get better and better at this, as you feel more comfortable, then you can slowly, you know, you don't do this all at once and just go, you know, flat out down the hill without using the brakes at all. But you know, with time, if you keep practicing the technique, you can't practice if you're scared to death. So what you want to do is slow down enough that you're not scared.